yede erade nyankopon ase papa se enenso ode yenkwa akyeye medofo aha aye kanokre news nyankopon share pa se de bia no wogibre na hwe kanokre ensem bebre ekoso ewo wiase na wohwe ha wa China ene Taiwan so ntokwa ne mentime wase sorry wo ho a na say enye asem ketua nti China is holding a major war games around Taiwan ni nyina ne say China for esusu say Taiwan omodia. They consider Taiwan as part of its territory and then to be brought under its control by force if necessary. Ain't you know China for who say Taiwan part of China. Ain't you can be as well ombefa Taiwan ediaka omu ekuro hono ombefa na eno ena ehwemu kire say China for any Taiwan for the kobo any dia na kire say sa conflict we dia na US for ena ebemu until any conflict would bring in US, which maintains a series of alliances in the region and in bond under US law to treat threats to Taiwan as a matter of grave concern. And according to US, say any threat in Taiwan biano, it will be treated as a matter of grave concern. And also yensema ekoso China ene Taiwan emu. And some bebre kwaso pa na Russia and Ukraine so and tokwano enyo ye. In fact, President Donald Trump, he is having a hard time. Okay, se wonya baswa. Sa antokwana ekoso Russia and Ukraine in term no. In fact, within a twinkling of an eye no, within a blink of an eye, obebu when you say pre na se no de wa man tokwana adwokora. Na ekamia ye say ayede ayede what tries and ceasefire deal bi bekoso na nkasa ntokwa no atu atwa na eno no say Putin wonya ante no ho ase na eno na Russia has strike a Ukrainian city of Sumy and then 34 killed in deadliest attack this year. Enti afiwe nyina no sa akode eko edi ehwim ewo Ukraine and Russia ntemu no. This is the deadliest attack. Yeah, any part 34 and omo prepare not say bebrebe. It's Russia ballistic missile ripped through the busy center of Ukraine, northeast city of Sumy on Sunday. Officials said killing at least 34 people and striking terror into residents who were out enjoying Palm Sunday. Anti-sa attack we also Palm Sunday. Hey, Vladimir Putin. According to news, he said 34 had been killed. I know more prepare baby ewo. Na President Zelensky, in fact, Papa ya nugum pa chese war catch Trump say. In fact, omehwe Putin ye wo. Omehwe Putin ye wo pa because see there entokwa si kwaso ewo ho no. Enye asem ketua kra. Now Trump has and as Trump tells Russia to get moving on Ukraine peace negotiation. And in the sense when basono and US President Donald Trump akachire Russia say they should get moving with Ukraine ceasefire talk as a special envoy was expected to meet Russia President Vladimir Putin in St. Petersburg later and in the day. Until Russia has to get moving. Too many people are dying. Thousands weak, Trump wrote in the post on Truth Social. And the Trump frustration with a lack of progress on his campaign promise to end the war has grown as Moscow issues additional demand for ceasefire. In fact, President Donald Trump is very, very frustrated. According to reports, was a warrior campaign. Said them dig and kind. What can say? Or no, they were bad. Into Kwana to be but Putin masa no aye so hard at the amano and was actually I watch say. So many people are dying, and so this is the time I will say Putin day na so Emma na asumdue ba. Now according to reports, so Putin demand or make so many demand. Yeah, say entokwana etuo ebetwa anaasɛ ntɔkwa no ɛtuo ntwa. In fact nsɛm ɛkɔ so na kuku damfoɔ mmiɛnsa bi ɛbɛhyia. Na kuku dam ewiase mu akuku damfoɔ bi ɛbɛhyia na kuku damfoɔ bɛyi North Korea Kim Jong-un, China Xi Jinping, ɛna Russia Vladimir Putin. Kuku damfoɔ kɛseɛ mmiɛnsa wei no ewiase nyinaa kyerɛ sɛ wɔpɛ akodeɛ ne akosɛm ne saa adeɛ na wontumi nyi China mfirim na wontumi nyi Russia mfirim Putin mfirim wontumi nyi North Korea Xi Jinping ɛnso mfirim na saa nkurɔfoɔ mmiɛnsa wei no ɔmo yɛ alliance a ntɔkwa kɛseɛ ɛbɛkɔ so wɔ wiase no sɛdeɛ Awurade akɔ ade bia wɔka no Pastor Paul J mekyia wo Nyankopɔn hyira wo papaapa sɛdeɛ de bia wɔka no ɛno ɛna ɛkɔ so a ɛbɛyi. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un, Chinese President Xi Jinping, and Russia President Vladimir Putin may soon appear together in a rare meeting. The leaders are expected to discuss key issues including regional security and economic cooperation. This potential summit would significantly impact international relations in East Asia and then beyond. Anti saa nkrofo miense kuku damfoi minim so mo koton sa didi so wo mdi a ene saa na tie omo mienu no ekohia omo kodi nkomo ede afa wiase ho asumdue ene niema omo ekwa kodi ho nkomo. Yo na Iran nso said the biaya na yeka no nuclear deal no President Donald Trump try pa say anka nuclear deal no ebe ekoso na sebe ya Ukraine for na say Iran for ain't to me enye nuclear weapon to me enye nuclear weapon. Na saa same way no so no Iran for so aye twema mentwe a enya asem ketua. So Iran and the United States will hold more negotiation next week over Tehran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. Iranian state television reported at the end of the first round of talk between the two countries since President Donald Trump returned to the White House. There has been a first round of talk between these countries, Iran and the U.S. And the Iran state-run broadcaster reveals that U.S. Mid-East envoy Steve Witkoff, and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas briefly spoke together. And the Sankrofo, Omokasa, Omodi Nkomo, a fani na a ceasefire deal na, Omo try say ebe ekoso. Na woko said the America say woko Russia, Iran. Na obo China na obo North Korea na kyerɛ sɛ ye kasa fa akɔdeɛ nuclear weapon akosɛm kyerɛ sɛ akɔdeɛ akɛseɛ paa enye asɛm ketewa. Saa nkrɔfo yi na wanhwɛ a ɔmode oyeye ɛde ɛbɛba asasi ɛso. Ukraine President Zelensky ɔno so de nsɛm bi abeto adwa ɛno so asɛm or say yehwehwɛ mu paa ye na ansa na no me pa cho subscribe efa mame ewo kana news so subscribe efa mame pa se wunya subscribe ya subscribe na ubetumi so ede wadwen kyerɛ so ede aba pa ede amame. Putin may provoke world war by seizing NATO territory if not stopped in Ukraine, Zelensky warns. Anti Zelensky oye Ukraine president or the one in Biaba power sister yan stop Putina yan stop Putina what they and tokwa kesiye pa bewiase because osusu say Putin edi free Ukraine or the beko NATO countries ni biso now the NATO countries ni biso NATO will not sit idle na eno ene de oyeye kesiye pa edi bebe wiase em say next week obe last week obe bi mbeka say amamman bebre na etwa Russia hon no anase Ukraine wo ehia no sa amamman ni bebre na no prepare akode Okolavia Lutiana honum ni nyina no omo prepare akode because they are thinking say entokwa no free Ukraine probability say ebetumi aba wo mo ho no is very very high na no na Zelensky wehu a wode warning air to wiase nyina say mommy yan stop Putin a wode ntokakase pa ebebe wiase. Russia President Vladimir Putin may attempt to seize NATO territory and trigger a global conflict if not stopped in Ukraine. President Vladimir Zelensky warned in an April interview with CBS News, "If we do not stand firm, we will advance further," Zelensky said, calling the threat real. And it was this threat, very, very real. In fact, the Ukrainian president warned that Putin's long-term objective is to restore Russia's empire that would include parts of NATO member states. And so the Putin will restore Russia empire. Will restore sa empire. Sa empire it include some of the NATO nations. NATO nations. It is a Lavia ne Luciana Honomo. Osusu say those parts no eka Putin the plans home. Considering all of this, I believe it would escalate into a world war, he said. And to consider all of the war canning in who he said it will escalate into a world war. A same way, in fact, Radiaku Pastor Polege dear, he has seen it from afar. And he ofiti se workers are same way, no. But utumuze and some no so bobo esisi ni pepe. Aha aya kan crane news na enche bia no me sorry so na Awurade Nyankopon ya adoma na wasa ehia ye da foforo. Zelensky previously raised alarm at the Munich Security Conference in February, saying Russia troop build-up in Belarus would be aimed not only at Ukraine but also at Poland or the Baltic state. And the Baltic state na mdi kan ebubo obi no Lithuania ne Levy anti Lavia hono anti watch say where Russia troops are building up Belarus. And as a Belarus, what I said, they are not aimed at Ukraine alone, no, but also Poland. What I say, Poland is a Baltic state, and the other Baltic state, no, a NATO state, no, and you know, almost free Ukraine is not just say almost so. According to Ukraine estimate, Russia is preparing to field 15 division, up to 150,000 troops in the region. And according to reports, you know, Russia for air prepare 15 division. You can 50 division and there's once the soldiers were division 1, division 2, division 3. A be also a station at a post. A be a corner, baby, a post almost. So they are preparing for 15 division and 50 division in total. No, 150,000 troops and a Russia for air prepare our Sahara region. One, add them put it. And some will bury as you. In some will bury as a pie, in fact. Ni chile money so yet na enti kakra na yebetumi a chile mu a chire no medofo mesrew na ye nyina ya boaboa ye ho say Awurade Nyankopon betumi aba at any time. Enti NATO leader have echoed the warning. NATO Security General Mark Rutte said that any Russia attack on NATO would be met with a devastating response. If Putin attacks NATO, the reaction will be devastating. He will lose. And see, according to NATO General Secretary Mark Rutte, and also this run away at the Russia and Putin said, if any attack on NATO, no, in fact, ija beto wiase. Aha, enamede news ni ebesi ene. Awurade Nyankopon ya adoma na wasa ehia ye foforo e wo kanokra news so Nyankopon enhyira pa makrao.